Howdy folks, today we're going to learn about glaciers. Glaciers, the reason why we're studying them is for several reasons. Number one, because they are powerful agents of erosion. They do erosion really well. And the other reason why is that we have glaciers in Montana, in the Mission Valley, and so we need to learn more about them. So what makes glaciers important? The single most reason why glaciers are important to us is this. Many land features that we have in the Mission Valley were created by glaciers that were here. What we see today, the land we see today, is mostly the result of glaciers. In other parts of the world, it's a very important source of fresh water. Like in the Himalayas, much of their fresh water comes from glaciers melting. And in some areas, they use it for drinking water, they use it for irrigation, and they use it for hydroelectric power. Now I'm going to go through this kind of fast. Again, if you need to pause the video so you can write this information down, please feel free to do that. Okay, so what is a glacier? A glacier is a large mass of ice that is moving. We can have snow fields that aren't glaciers, but they have to be moving. So how do they move? They form in areas where more snow falls than melts every year. So if we have an area in the Mission Mountains where you see snow right now, and then in July you don't see snow there, then that's not a glacier. So really got to think about the area like towards McDonald Peak. There's a glacier there that doesn't melt completely away throughout the course of the year. Glaciers move because of gravity. A lot of times they're on slopes like on mountains or hillsides, and so gravity pulls them down. They can also have a small amount of melting at the bottom due to pressure, and that can kind of lubricate the bottom of the glacier and allow it to move as well. So when were there glaciers? I bet you know, because you've seen a lot of movies about it. But during the ice ages. Ice ages are periods of time where the planet was cooler than it is today on average. So if we think about average temperature on the planet, and I ask you, what do you think the average temperature was, or how much lower was the average temperature during the ice age than it is today? You might give me a variety of answers, but the actual answer is 5 degrees cooler than it is today. So my question for you then would be, does it take a lot of cooling or temperature change to lead to a climate change? And the answer is no. For example, our climate has increased in temperature over 1 full degree in the last 100 years. And that's really fast. This, the last ice age, you're going to find out, did not end 100 years ago. So the last ice age peaked about 10 to 15,000 years ago. So we've warmed up over 5 degrees roughly in roughly 15,000 years. So that's a normal rate of temperature change. So what causes ice ages? Well, there's a lot of different things. There's one thing that you're familiar with, is the position of the continents on Earth can cause an ice age. A differing amount of solar output from the sun can cause an ice age. Differing amounts of atmospheric gases can lead to an ice age. So please make sure you write at least one of those things that I just said down in your notes. Again, if you need to pause this so you can write this stuff down, please feel free to do that. So where do we have glaciers? There's 2 main types of glaciers. There's continental glaciers. These are the ones that you're familiar with, that are in Greenland, that are in the Arctic, that are in the Antarctic. These are ginormous glaciers. They can be thousands and thousands of feet thick and miles of area covered by ice. These are the biggest ones. The other type is what's called a valley glacier. These are much smaller. These are the ones we find in Glacier Park, the ones we find in Alaska, the ones we find, the few that we find in the Mission Mountains. These are our smaller ones. Okay? That is the end of the glacier notes. So you're going to have an assignment to do. There are some textbook pages that are scanned on the website for today, and also you have the worksheet there. So again, make a copy of that worksheet, fill in your answers, and submit it to me, and everything will be cool. Have fun.